Hi, my name is Dami. I'm the founder of Dreamstream and Dream Academy, and I'm super excited to welcome you to this series of videos called Big Dreams, Big Impact, where I'm going to be sharing with you over a 4-part video series the most essential things you need to do to rise above insignificance, frustration, compression, depression, compression, and every other kind of shun that you want to begin to shun in your life. You got that? So hang with me, it's going to be really remarkable. The first video I'm going to cover, in the first video, I'm going to cover big things can happen for you too. In the second video, we're going to go further and look at 5 reasons many people play small. In the third video, we're going to be looking at the 6 pillars of an extraordinary life. And in the fourth video, we're going to be looking at go big or go home. So let's start with this. So many people have read my resources, my products, have been through my programs. I'm not trying to show off, but I want to show forth a couple of these things. And I'll tell you a story that some of you might wonder, did this really happen? And I hope I can tell you some of those stories in this particular video. So you might have seen my resources, life lessons from football, being a blessing to so many people. Good to go. I know that some of you, this was your favorite resource. If you've been through it and you had the opportunity of walking through the workbook style that I used in this one, maybe you've been to Dream Academy Masterclass on Money Mastery, where I teach people how to understand how money works and what they can put in place to ensure that they don't become a liability to people who are around them. Right? You might have seen that in different formats as well. Dream Academy, maybe attend a 5-day program, Winning with Words, where I teach people how they can become effective, a lot more effective in communicating and persuading. So whether you're a marketer, a debater, a conference leader, keynote speaker, and you've seen all those products. Maybe apart from those products, you've seen my songs before, like the Grace River Chant or Don't Rape Her. I even rapped. Can you believe that? Like a real rap. And then as we call, and so many of them really. You enjoy that? All right. You might have seen this one. This is like the favorite of so many people across the world, called I'm Not Alone. So maybe you've also seen this on television, like millions of people have actually seen this video on television. Right. Maybe you've attended my webinars before, content creation strategy, social media strategy, and the one I did for speakers of the gospel, preachers of the gospel on the new pulpit, the modern day pulpit. Maybe you've seen that before. Maybe you've attended Mindset Reset and all these amazing things. So maybe you've watched some episodes of Dream Stories. I'm just trying to cut through all of that. And you're like, wow, how have you done all these big things? People go like, this is very intimidating. I'm not sure I can ever do it in my life. I want to assure you, big things can happen for you too. Now, I didn't show you all those things to impress you or to make you feel intimidated, but it's actually to begin to establish in your mind that all those things have not just happened out of the blue. They didn't just happen, because I'm like super special, extraordinarily gifted. Yes, I'm special. Yes, I'm gifted, right? But there are certain things that I applied. There was a journey. I went through certain things in my own life as well. And I'm hoping that I can share some of them with you. And that's what we're sharing with Dream Academy or our Dream Academy, some of those stories, principles, and patterns that I have used in my own life, right? But I didn't just start with all of that. So let me give you an idea. This is just like a snapshot, right? This is not the whole of my life, but it's a snapshot of a part of my story. And I remember in 2018, I was actually in Dubai, my annual vacation at the time, and there was this challenge. They called it a 10-year challenge. And people were putting pictures of themselves, maybe 10 years prior, and what they looked like in 2018. So I thought about it, well, instead of just putting pictures of what you looked like 10 years ago and what you now look like in 2018, as at that time, 2018, why not do like a snapshot of your life, right? And so I came up with this particular thing, right? And I made it my 10-year challenge. So I said, my life has changed remarkably over the past 10 years. A few months ago, the 10-year challenge went viral on Instagram while everyone posted their old pictures. I reflected and posted this. So this is what I posted. Check it out. True story. No joke. My life story. 2008, spent an extra year in school because I failed. Now, if you're going to add the time I used pursuing, missing results, dealing with interest in lecturers, ASU strike, I definitely spent more than 1 extra year in school. And if you don't know what an extra year is, typically it could happen because of different things, but the most popular reason is that you failed. Either you failed a prerequisite course or you failed enough courses to extend your course of study from 5 years to 6 years or 7 years or 8 years, right? So there are sometimes incidental courses and there's sometimes things that you did. But I failed. I failed quite a number of courses. And most people don't even believe that. They're like, you're so smart, you're so intelligent, you're so brilliant. But they don't know that I actually failed. And I didn't just fail maybe like in final year or the year before final year. I failed a prerequisite course in year 2. So from year 2, I already knew I was not going to graduate with my mates. You see that now? But guess what? 10 years later, people who graduated before me were signing up to my programs for coaching, for mentorship. It can be mind-blowing. So maybe you're watching this right now, dealing with failure in your life, and you're thinking, how can I recover from it? Trust me, I've walked this path, I've lived this journey, and I have no regrets. In 2008, I remember looking for money, scrambling for funds, and that was the last time I actually raised funds for any personal project, right? Or even any business project. 2008, I had this idea, this fantastic book I wanted to write, and it was going to cost me about 2 million naira. Now, if you added all the money I had in my life, and you sold everything that belonged to me personally, you were not going to raise 2 million naira, right? But I wrote a book. Eventually, I think I spent about 250,000 naira because I had to downsize on the book and all of that. Guess what? 2018, I was working on my 5th book. Can you imagine that? In 10 years. 2008, I was hoping to get coaching and corporate clients. 2018, I had to turn down coaching and corporate clients. Till now, some people actually literally have to say, you know what, I have to be a coaching client, but I need to save up. It's that interesting. 2008, I had time to travel, but I had no money to travel. 2018, I had money to travel, but I had no time. Like, I was so busy being productive. 2008, I traveled to only 2 countries. 2018, I traveled to and touched, either traveled to or passed through 12 countries. That number has increased now. 2008, I was praying for speaking engagements. 2018, if I combine total number of meetings I spoke at, was stand at 100 meetings, conferences, events, services, whatever you want to call it, right? 2008, I had to squat, believe it. I had to squat with a friend. Why? Because I couldn't afford to rent my own space. So I know there's somebody who's watching right now. You're going like, I'm squatting with a squatter who's squatting with a squatter who's squatting with a squatter. And I've become a nuisance. Big things can happen for you too. This is not somebody else's story. This is my story. This is what I've walked through, lived through, learned from, and I've grown from. 2018, I had property and people were paying me rent. Can you believe that? In that, from squatting to owning property, can you just think about that? Can you wrap your mind around the fact that it doesn't matter where you are right now, the failure you've experienced, the delays, sometimes maybe delays because of your background, maybe you grew up without your dad or your mom, or you grew up with your dad and your mom, but they just didn't take care of you, or they themselves were under financial pressure, or maybe somebody broke your heart, jilted you, ran away with your best friend, they got married and tagged you on their pictures on Facebook. I want you to know this. Big things can happen for you too. Can you say that to yourself right now? Big things can happen for me too. Type it in the comment box right now. Say, big things can happen for me too. Did you just type that? Did you just type? Put that in there. I want to see that. All right, so that's important for you to see. And this is my story. 2008, 0 TV appearances. 2018, dozens of unsolicited TV and media appearances. I actually became a regular feature on the leading morning show in Nigeria. That's remarkable. 2008, I had to raise money, I told you about this earlier, to publish my book. 2018, out of the proceeds for my books, not just a book, I was able to donate to people, to charity efforts within that time. 2008, no awards. 2018, several awards and nominations. 2008, I didn't have a car. 2018, I was acquiring my 5th car in 8 years. Now, I don't mean like I had 5 cars at the same time. I'm just saying it was the 5th one I was acquiring in 8 years. 2008, I almost lost my mind. And maybe with some other time I tell you the story. I survived burnout with acute stress and near mental breakdown. No jokes. It's a long story. Yeah. 2018, I was helping many people defeat depression and helping them lead a life of purpose. So can you see this journey now? Can you see the story now? Can you see that no matter where you are, you really can rise from the ashes of defeat and despair? 2008, single, heartbroken from a relationship breakup, and that relationship was very dear to me. 2018, happily married to the most beautiful woman in the world. You know my wife. Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife? You should see my wife. Right, most beautiful woman in the world, blessed with two amazing princes. 2008 was pastoring students. Nothing wrong with students. 2018, pastoring kings. You see them now. Why am I telling you that? I'm not trying to show off and make you feel like some guy who's arrived. I'm far from it. I'm still on a journey. But I realized that where I am today, or where I was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, is possibly where you are right now. And I want you to begin to think about this, that big things can happen for me too. Now, this is not all that has happened for me. This is just a snapshot of what I can share with you. But from where I'm coming, from the discouragement, from the weight, from the failure, from the delay, from the sometimes confusion, sometimes anxiety, sometimes fear, I've grown from all of that. I've learned the lessons through all of that, and I want to walk with me on this journey. You know, many times what happens is many of us feel like, you know what, this thing cannot happen for me. I have to be like an international person, an international figure. I remember I was in New York last year, New York Times Square, if you know Times Square in New York, and I was just hanging out there and enjoying the life. When I said the life, don't think about clubbing or partying, nothing like that. I was in the streets of New York, and I looked at one of the giant screens, big screens, and I saw this gentleman, you might know him, Trevor Noah. Now, I was super excited, not just because I was saying Trevor Noah, but because I remember when I was living in London years ago, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was living in London, I would watch a show on Comedy Central and go like, this guy is so brilliant. Now, of course, you have to be quite intelligent for you to understand many of his jokes. Your mind has to be working. And I knew he was from South Africa, from this very rough background, where he saw his father shoot his mother. His parents couldn't be seen together because of apartheid and all of that. Grew up in the rough areas, in the slums, and I had to hustle through. But every time I saw him in London, I was like, wow, this guy's brilliant. He deserves something more. And a couple of years later, he was the host. He became the host of the Daily Show. So when I saw him on the screens in New York last year, I was like, my goodness, there is something about your giftedness, about tenacity, about consistency, about investing your heart, your passion, your life. But many of us would be like, you know, I'm not Trevor Noah. I'm not from South Africa. I'm not from, I didn't go to London. I didn't start from the international scene myself, and I'm not even there yet. I'm still on the journey. But I want to share this journey with you. And that's why I don't want to miss any video in this series where I'm showing you how you can have big dreams. I want to dare you to begin to dream big. Allow yourself to transcend the limitation of your environment, the constraints of maybe you live in the third world, or people call the third world, or you're in an environment that is so harsh. Don't miss the next 3 videos. I'm going to go deeper. And in the next video, my focus is going to be 5 reasons why most people play small. 5 reasons. And I can assure you that 1 or 2 of these have affected you, either recently or in the years gone by. But I'm going to be showing you that. So stay with me. It's all about big dreams and big impact. For now, check out the information on the screen and follow the information about Dream Academy Global. You might be wondering what that is all about. It's really all about how you can have this kind of story that inspires so many people too. There are people who have been through this program, who are going through this program, who are a part of this dream community. And I want to be a part of it. So don't miss that. Put your information in the comment, in the URL on the screen right now. And I'm going to be telling you more about this in the coming videos. I'll talk to you in the next video.